You're watching My Morning Motivator. Today, I'm going to be talking about the intuition, how it communicates, how it's a reliable source of information, and how it can be useful in determining what's right for yourself. So let's define the word intuition. Your intuition is your ability to understand something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning. The intuition communicates to you in the form of energy. That energy comes to you in a feeling, usually in the core. But the main purpose of the intuition is to let you know if something is right. So when you're doing the right thing, when you're in the right situation, when you're in the right place with the right person, right. I think there are 5 energies that are confirmed by the intuition and how they feel. Number 1, it makes you feel alive. Feeling alive is like a sense of being animated. It's more than energy. It's a completeness that's hard to describe. You've probably already had some experiences where you feel alive. It's just exhilarating. And if you haven't connected to life at that level yet, you just haven't found what's right for you. For me, it was music. I'm a professional musician, and the minute I discovered music, I realized that when I was making music, I just felt alive on the inside, like electrified, magical, exhilarating, thrilling. The first time I ever played a piano, I'm sure I was just lit up like a light bulb on the inside. And that's what being animated is. It feels like there's an extra boost moving you, guiding you, saying, do this, So that's what feeling alive is about. And when you find something that makes you feel alive, that's one of the litmus tests that you can use that your intuition is guiding you in the right way. The second way that the intuition communicates as a confirmation that you're doing something right is that it brings you energy. And it's kind of similar to feeling alive, but you can be tired and kind of don't have a lot of energy, but when you connect to what's right for you, all of a sudden you get a second wind. You get another boost of energy. If you know that for example, your intuition is saying, hey, you need to do something about your health, you need to exercise more. At first there's a resistance to it, like, but then if you can get beyond that sort of inertia and you actually start moving your body and you realize, it'll bring you energy to actually engage in that particular activity. Or if you just have if you're with a person will bring you energy. You could be kind of down and then they come into your life or you engage with them in some way and then your energy level gets going. That's a second way that the intuition confirms that something's right for you. The third way that the intuition confirms what's right for you is when you feel like you're at home. You know that feeling when you get in your own bed or when you come home after a long day, it's like, this is my home, or whatever space is yours. There's a feeling like you belong and there's no other place in the world you'd rather be. That's the third confirming energy of the intuition. When you're with a person or a group of friends or you're engaged in some activity, it doesn't feel like there's any other place on earth you'd rather be than in that moment doing that thing. It's like the optimal sense of belonging. The fourth way that the intuition confirms what's right for you, it gives you a sense of curiosity. It sparks a level of curiosity about everything about this thing. And it can be a thing, it can be a person, it can be a career, it can be an activity, it can be an art form. You're going to develop a curiosity about that if it's yours, if it's right for you. If you're with the right person, you'll have these really creative questions to ask them. You won't be at a loss to communicate with them. If it's to make music, you'll have a curiosity to learn everything there is to learn about it. If it's to start a business, you'll just pour over the educational materials that you would need to get going. So, the mechanics of it, the history of it, how it works. You want to listen to success stories and people who have failed. I mean, you can't get enough information about what's right for you. That's how you know it's right, because you have it kind of like brings out a natural curiosity in yourself. Even if it's a skill you need to try to develop, you'll get curious. You'll get curious on how to actually get better with it. And here's the key: even if you suck, you'll still want to learn how to do it. Like, the first time I ever played the piano, I'm sure I was horrible. I was in the 3rd grade, but I still was curious. How do I get my fingers to do this? What do these symbols mean on the page? So I learned at a very young age that I had a proclivity towards music. My intuition saying, this is right for you. Learn something about it. And I never got discouraged with the amount of information I had to learn or how complicated the skill was. And then the final way that the intuition confirms what's right for you is that you have a strange inclination to want to come back to it and back to it and back to it. In other words, you don't get bored that easily with it, or with the person, or with the place, or with the situation. Is that you want to keep repeating the activity, you want to keep repeating the encounters. If it's a person, you keep wanting to repeat the learning process of developing a skill. Whatever the case may be, cycling back to it will feel fresh every single time, and it will renew itself as you come back to it. So those are the 5 energies of the confirming intuition. Like I say, this is what's right for me. That's how I think the intuition really works best, and it's always in your best interest. It's in your best interest to be curious about who you're with. It's in your best interest to want to come back to it, to get energy from it, to feel at home with it. All these things make you happy, and that's what it's about. And those 5 things you have to pay attention to when you're engaged in the activity, when you're with the person. And here's another thing. You can use that to sort of use those 5 energies when you're thinking about your goals and dreams. When you think about the things that you want in your life, your goals, your dreams, your aspirations, whatever image comes to mind, and it could be random. Who knows? If, as you imagine your future, your intuition lights up in those 5 areas, feeling alive, bringing you energy, getting curious, feeling at home, wanting to come back to it, it's something that will help you get motivated to take action on your dreams and goals. Now, a lot of people aren't sure about their dreams and their goals. They don't know how to use their intuitive sense to conjure up some kind of creative image for themselves. Well, your life is just a big experiment. Life is then a laboratory. We live in a world of contrast. Either your intuition will light up, or your intuition will say, don't do that. So think of life as this huge sandbox, a playground of people, things, experiences, dreams, images, the past. Whatever the case may be, your intuitive sense is leading you towards what's right. So if you don't know where to even begin, you have to experiment. If you're looking for the love of your life, go out on dates and take careful internal notes of how you feel with each and every date. If it's an art form, pick up a paintbrush and see, how do I feel when I'm painting? Come back to it, paint another picture. The key is, no matter what it is that you're doing, if it's right for you, you'll love it no matter how much work is involved or your level of ability. The outcome is irrelevant if the intuition is telling you it's the right thing. You will get better at it. For me, personally, it's music. When I'm making music, all of the 5 energy levels, or the 5 all of the 5 pointers light up for me every single time I'm making music. And for me, I have also found writing to be that. I just was strangely drawn to writing, and I just love to write. And I hope you read my blog. When I write, I feel like, oh, this is the right thing. It brings me energy. Every single time I can be very tired and I start writing, and then I'm like, oh, wow, that gives me energy. And now making videos, I hope that you sense that talking about these issues to you, you can sense that I have this sense of aliveness. I'm working on feeling at home when I make these videos. It's still kind of like I'm still not quite comfortable talking to my phone, but I'm hoping that there are other ears that hear this and resonate with what I'm talking about. And that hope, I want people to pick up on that hope that the messages are also pinging your intuitive sense, like, oh, this is something you need to hear, and this is something that's very useful to you in changing your life. So to me, I've gotten good at judging what's right for me, and I'm discovering new things. You're going to discover new things in your life that trigger those intuitive confirmations, and that's what's going to help you accomplish your dreams. It's going to be what helps you establish new habits. But the key is you have to not be afraid to engage with life, to experiment and try new things, particularly as it pertains to the habits you develop. If you really want good habits, you have to do actions that resonate with your intuition. Too often, I think people take action or don't take action, and that sort of dulls or overrides the intuition. And that's a recipe for disaster. It's what you would call a poor choice. And so I encourage you, if you're having a hard time sort of gaining some traction in your life, it could be that you just haven't had a chance to really connect to that intuitive voice that knows what's best for you. It's your intuition that's guiding you towards better choices. So I hope that the information on this video has helped you begin to think about what your intuition is telling you. Remember, it has your best interest at heart. And only you can determine what's right for you. And when you start doing the things that are right for you, you are your best for everybody else. You're at your best when you follow your intuition, even if it means you have to say no, or I can't belong to this group, or I can no longer do this job. Sometimes when you listen to your intuitive voice, it may require a complete makeover of your life, your current external circumstances. You might have to walk away from that relationship. You might have to quit that job, or you might have to start that other thing. You might have to, like me, I'm just getting started on making these videos, but there's something in my intuition that says, hey, you like talking about life. There could be people out there that want to learn about it. There could be people out there that will find this information helpful. And that sense of helping other people is what motivated me to set up my camera and to think about what I wanted to tell you today. So you're going to have those moments too. You're going to have those moments where you say, I got to do this, or I've got to stop doing that. And your intuition will leave you alone only for so long before it starts to become a nag. And it'll nag you to the point where if you keep overriding it or you keep ignoring it, your circumstances will decay. It'll explode. Challenge. It invites challenge. When you don't listen to your intuition, things fall apart. And so I'm partially making this video because I've had my fair share of falling apart. And I want you to learn that your intuition is keeping you out of trouble. That doesn't say that we don't have challenge, because challenge is inevitable. It's just that the intuitive voice kind of keeps the pain of challenge at a minimum. I hope that this video was helpful to you in some way. If you have questions, please let me know in the comments section. It would mean an awful lot to me if you would subscribe to my channel. And if you would check my blog and read it every day, I would appreciate it if you subscribe to my blog too, mymorningmotivator.com. I look forward to seeing you next week, and I hope that this information was helpful. Thank you.